Hello everybody, Todd here, all things archery and shooting, and today I'm doing a review on broadheads that cost $10 or less on Amazon. Now I have 8 broadheads. They run from a price of $4.99 all the way up to $10.48. Okay, most of these are copies of what's existing broadheads that are out there, and some are unique designs. But each one of these are less than $10.48. So I was going to try to keep under $10, but I come across this one broadhead was $10.48, so I want to add it to it. It was pretty cheap. Okay, so we're going to go in and review each of these individual broadheads today and see what they cost, what you get with for the money, how many you get for the cost of the money. And after you go through all that and talk about all that, we're going to head out to the range and we're going to put all these to test. We're going to test for accuracy, see how close they are to hit with the field point. I'll be using my one of my traditional bows, and we'll shoot a field point arrow, and then we'll shoot a broadhead right next to it and see how close to that field point arrow it comes. And then after that, we're going to go to the penetration test. Penetration test I'm going to do is going to be a little bit different. I have 2 full racks of ribs that I purchased from the store. I've got a piece of 1/2 inch OSB plywood, and I got a piece of leather. I'm going to take the 2 ribs and set them on the plywood. I'm going to screw them to the plywood, then I'm going to take the leather and put over the ribs on top of the plywood and staple the leather on top of that. So it gives us leather to shoot through, which is the skin of the animal, the ribs, like the rib section of the animal, and then we're going to shoot through the 2x4, and we'll measure how much penetration each one of these broadheads have on the back side of that piece of plywood. Okay, so let's get started reviewing each one of these first, and I'll get you a quick overview of what we have here. Okay, the first one we have is called a Shing Tong. It's 100 grain. It's $4.99 for 3. It comes in this blister pack. You get your 3 broadheads, and it comes with a broadhead wrench. Now these are removable blade broadheads. Look kind of like a, come on, focus. Looks kind of like a, get a better shot of it here we can. Come on, focus, focus. Here we go. Looks kind of like a Muzzy broadhead. The blades are removable by taking that little lower ring off, but I could not find any replacement blades online for this. So that one is the cheapest one that we have in our collections, is $4.99. Next up is the CZO. These are 100 grain broadheads. They're $6.99 and you get 6 of these. Get a look at it. Okay. Very low profile head, so it's probably going to shoot pretty accurately. Comes in this neat little box here that came with a little broadhead box that's shipped with it. And inside this broadhead box you've got your broadhead wrench and your 5 other broadheads, all in this nice little carry box, and it's for $6.99. Okay. Next on the list is Safari Choice. Now this is a copy of the Magnus head. It's a 100 grain head. It's got aluminum ferrule on it. As you can see, it's going to focus. There you go. It's a double bevel head. All right. This was $7.85 for 3. And it comes in this blister pack of 3. Okay. Next is technically the cheapest of the bunch because I got 12 for this price. These are $7.99 for 12. It's a 3-bladed head. Again, removable blades on, replaceable blades on it, but I could not find anywhere to get new blades for this. But for $7.99 you get 12, and it comes in 2 blister packs here of 6 each. Okay, so that is the cheapest one if you do it by price per piece. Okay, so you figure it's $8 for 12. That's less than what, 80 cents a piece. All right, it's crazy. All right, next one is called the KO Winter. It's the copy of the Woodsman, the Woodsman broadhead by 3 Rivers. All right, it's a double bevel, 3-bladed fixed broadhead. Okay, it is $9.58, and they shipped in a little cardboard box in a Ziploc bag. As you can see, 3 of them in a Ziploc bag. Okay. Next is the Allen Company V-Locks. This is only stainless steel head they have. This real stainless steel, which I think is pretty interesting. So it is a solid stainless steel head. Okay, it looks kind of like a Muzzy head. If I get the focus here, you can see it better. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. See? So it's stainless steel. This is $9.65 for 3 of them, and it comes in this blister pack. All the information on the back of it, made by Allen Company. Okay. Next is the Jan Zind. Now this is an interesting broadhead. This looks like the G5 Montec. I mean, it's shaped just like it. It's a 100 grain head. And when I purchased this head, it's supposed to have a quantity of 3 for $9.88. Well, what they sent me was 6 for the same price of $9.88. Okay? So that's the way they come out. It was advertised on Amazon as 3 for $9.88, but actually it sent me a 6, which is pretty interesting. All right, last but certainly not least is the Sozo Shoot 100 grain head. It's a pretty wide cutting diameter. It's the widest of all of them I have here. It's 1 3/16. It's a double bevel. Quantity 6, and it comes in this little like foam padded envelope. Okay? All right. So that is all the broadheads. Okay, as you can see, I'll give you another quick overview of them. All right, here we go. Should a review of these. I'll put links to all these in the description box for you so you can click on them and try them yourself. So, but you see all these cost around $10. The most expensive is $10.48. Okay? All right, let's put this back over here now. Okay, now we're going to check the weight of each of these. I have a digital scale here. First one I want to check is going to be the Shang 2 head. Supposed to be 100 grains. So let's go ahead and see what this comes out to. Put it on here. This one comes out to 99.4 grains. Okay, not quite 100 grains. All right, let's check the next one. This is the Zizo head. Zizo, how you pronounce that. This one's $6.99 for 6 of them. So this is over $1 a piece. This one comes in at 95.6 grains. Okay. All right. Remember, you get 6 of those. Next is the Safari Choice. This is the Magnus knockoff. 100 grain Safari Choice. You get 3 in the pack now. And these are coming in heavier. These are coming in 101.6. These have a 1 3/16 cutting diameter. Okay, same as the Sozo shot. They're both 1 3/16. Okay. All right. So that's the heaviest one so far. Now we've got the KLY Archery 3-blade removable or replaceable blade broadhead. Okay, KLY Archery. They're $7.99. You get 12 of these now for $7.99. Okay, these come in right at 100.8 grains. Okay. Next we have our KO winner. This is the copy of the Woodsman head, all right? And it's supposed to be 100 grains, and you get 3 of these for $9.58. Let's see what we got. These come in 100.4 grains, okay? All right. Next is the Allen Company V-Lock stainless steel placeable blade broadhead, all right? It's very similar to the Zizo head, as you can see. Look almost the same. It's a little bit beefier though. But it's supposed to be 100 grains. Let's see what it comes in at. Wow, this one comes in at 104.6 grains. That is by far the heaviest one we have. Okay, 104.6 grains. All right. Now we have the Janzen 100 grain G5 Montec knockoff. Okay. It's $9.88. You get 3 of them. Remember, they sent me 6 instead of 3 for that same $9.88 price. So unless it's a mistake on their part or what, but I got 6 of these for $9.88. So let's see what this thing comes in at. That comes in right at 100 grains. Perfect. That's the first one, the exact weight it's supposed to be. Okay. Last but certainly not least is the Sozo Shoot 100 grain, $10.48, a little more than $10, but still pretty close to it. You get 6 of them for that price. And this one comes in at 103.8 grains. So only of all these 8, only one is the actual weight, which is the Janzen one. Okay. All right. Now I want to check how sharp each one of these are. Okay, I got a piece of copy paper here. We're going to start from the right side and see how if I can cut this piece of paper with it. Okay, first one. Not bad. Didn't quite cut. Let's try the Jans in. That was a little sharper. Let's try the Allen Company SS V-Locks. That one's really dull. I mean, that one even cut the paper. You can feel that. There's really that is no edge at all to it. Let's check the KO winner. Again, that one's really dull too. Yeah, it doesn't even feel sharp. That didn't even cut the paper. So far, two of them haven't even cut the piece of paper. The Allen and the KO winner, they haven't cut the paper yet. So let's try the KOY Archery. That seems to be the sharpest one so far. It sliced right through that like butter. Okay. Let's try the Safari Choice next. Get you a better view of that. Here we go. Now that's really sharp. Okay, that's the sharpest one so far. Now let's try the CZO. No, didn't even cut the paper, just bent it. That's not sharp at all. Now we're going to try the Shungdong, or Shangtang, however you pronounce it. It's the last one. That cut really good too. Okay, so it looks like the ones that didn't do more was this one here, did not cut the paper. This did not cut the paper. And this did not cut the paper. Okay? The sharpest one I would say would have to be the Safari Choice. This is the sharpest one. Okay, with the KOY second and then the Shangtung third. All right. So, with that being said, we're going to head out to the range now and put this thing to the range. Now, the way my range is going to be set up is like this. When we go to the part two, you'll see that in part two. Part two, we're going to take my recurve bow, which will probably be either my bear bow or be my bear bow. I have a bear grizzly we're going to use for this. It's a 57-pound bear grizzly. It's tuned perfectly for the broadhead arrows and that I normally hunt with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the broadheads that I normally hunt with that bow, and which are also a 100 grain head. And I'm going to use a 100 grain field point, and we're going to shoot one arrow with a field point at a standard NFAA target, which would be a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 scoring circle. We'll shoot the field tip first, see where it lands. Hopefully we get right in the middle of the 10. And then I'm going to shoot the broadhead right next to it, okay? So the broadhead will be shot next to it. For instance, if I'm going to shoot the Shangtung, so say if my field tip hits 10 and the Shangtung hits 9, that means I'm going to be 1 off. So that's how I'll mark that as a -1. Okay? And my CZO, say it hits 8, I'll mark that as -2 because it's 2 off. So we'll do that for our accuracy test. Okay? And we'll see which one flies the true point of aim, if they even fly the true point of aim. So we're going to check that in part 2. Also in part 2, we're going to do a penetration and test in a hunting situation, simulate a hunting deer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 1/2 inch OSB plywood. I'm going to take a rack of ribs, pork ribs, a full rack. I'm going to staple the full rack of ribs in the package. These will be raw, not going to be cooked, it'll be straight raw, not frozen. Staple it to the board, and then I'm going to put a piece of medium weight leather over top of that and staple that on top of it. So basically you're going to have your leather, you're going to have the ribs behind the leather, then you're going to have the 1/2 inch OSB behind that. And we'll shoot each of these broadheads into that ribs with that leather and see how it penetrates. And then we'll check the penetration on the back side of the plywood, how far the arrow protrudes from the back side of the plywood. So say I shoot the Safari Choice and it punches through the leather, the ribs, and the plywood, and it sticks out the back side of the plywood, say 7 inches. Well, that'll be the penetration depth, 7 inches. Then we can compare all the same at the end. Then once it's all done, I'm going to decide whether these are worth your $10 or not, but at the very least, it'll be a fun thing to do. So personally, I'm a hold back judge on all these broadheads to actually test them, but we'll see how they work out. So be sure to stay tuned for part 2. It should be a really interesting shoot out there once we start testing all these broadheads. So look for that. That'll be uploaded here pretty soon. I'll be up. So, and let me know what you think about these broadheads. Everyone used these broadheads before? Have you tried any of them? Do you have any success with them? Want to actually hunt with them or not? Let me know. Drop me a comment. The whole purpose of this review is to see if these inexpensive, cheap knockoff broadheads are worth the money for someone that's on a really tight budget for bow hunting. All right. So we'll see how they hold up and how accurate they shoot, and we'll go from there. All right, well, this has been Todd, all things archery and shooting, and until next time, guys, I'll see you at part 2 on the range. Ciao.